This is my recap of Botched Season 2, Episode 4, 4 Leeches and a Funeral. And you know they just put these stories together so that they could have that pun in the title. So we have Dwight, instantly recognizable from Real Housewives Atlanta, and I suppose Married with Medicine. He's had 2 nose jobs and his nose is essentially collapsed. Basically we see what's kind of known as the Michael Jackson nose, and he can't breathe. So they're going to repair it. They repair it. He has a funeral to say goodbye to his old nose. Pretty cut and dry overall. Then we have Susan, who is known as Busty Heart, which seems like a super weird nickname. Like, I'm not surprised that her, like, junior high friends gave her that nickname, because it's not the catchiest one. She wants to get her liposuction repaired. What they find out is that it's not so much a liposuction problem. It's excess skin. She's have a tummy tuck, but she has, I can't remember what size she has. She has huge breasts, and so essentially they can't without doing a breast reduction, and she's like, nope. Apparently she has like an island, which is just was super depressing for me. Like, why can't I be rich? Anyway, our last one is Connie, and she is emotionally in turmoil. She had breast implants done. One of them is like the kind where when you lay down it like slides and it feels weird, and she can feel something through the skin. And her mother had passed away from breast cancer. So my assumption is that a lot of her anxiety about her breast implants was connected to fear that something was wrong and she wouldn't know and she would die, which I think is totally reasonable. Her mom had died within a year ago. And that is, I mean, that kind of grief can just really mess you up. So anyway, when they do this whole, he does this whole thing where he shines a flashlight, which we've seen in the first season, and one of them is fine, and then the other one, the one that she has a problem with, is like see-through, like the whole thing glows up like a nightlight. And so they're gonna do a repair. So he opens it up, and there's this huge pocket. It goes all the way to her back. You can see all of her ribs. So he stitches that up. He also does a really good check to make sure that she doesn't have any breast cancer in there while he's in there. And anyway, puts her all back together and has to put leeches. They say 4 leeches. It was 1 leech. They put it on there to help with blood flow, which I know is common with, or I shouldn't say common, it's not uncommon. I've heard of it before, and I'm not a plastic surgeon, so it must be at least kind of normal. Now I'm going to say 2 things about the show that have nothing to do with the show. One is, why is it opposite Real Housewives of New York? Right? Like, that's ridiculous. It should be an hour later or something. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, don't record another show and label it as Botched in my DVR. There was not a 2-hour episode of Botched. There was a 1-hour episode. And then tagged on to the end was this new show, New Work or whatever. It's got RuPaul, it's got some model or something, and it's got Dubrow, Dr. Dubrow. Clearly I love RuPaul, I do the recaps. Clearly I love Dr. Dubrow, I watch Botched and Real Housewives of Orange County. But don't sneak it onto my DVR. You're gonna mess up my whole DVR schedule, which is very important to me. And that's I'm already mad at Bravo for doing that, where they sneak in and watch what happens live and call it like a Real Housewives of New York, and you're like, this is not Real Housewives of New York. So anyway, I got an issue with that. Anyway, that's the episode.